Hello, I'm Draco Skura, and welcome to the show. I have no remembrance of where the hell I am in this game. It's been a while. It'll be a week past from what you've last seen. For me, it's been a week. So, like, usually I have this stuff. Actually, it's been more than a week. Has it? Not sure. All I do know is this is a little loud. Let's calm down. Because that music will fuck everything up. I'm telling you that right now. Because the way this Screencast-O-Matic, I use it. Not always the best. Alright. I think we're ready to go. Go where? I nodded. I don't know where I'm going. I was ready for whatever Diana had in store for me. However, I didn't expect the door into the room to shut on its own behind me for my body to freeze up. What the? I stared wide-eyed at Diana, seeing her eyes glow gold as she began to very slowly step towards me. No.
What are you waiting for? Fight me.
Jumping right into this, okay. My body couldn't move. I felt warm and fuzzy, a tingling sensation running along my body and dulling my senses. As I stared at Diana, I felt myself notice every curve of her body, every stroke, the taint on her body painted over her skin became almost erotic to me. Oh, I see what she's doing. She's using, she's teaching you how to feed incubi or succubi. It's like she's teaching you to fight that. Is that what's going on?
The longer you take, the more enthralled you will become. Fight me.
Okay. My mind began to struggle naturally. I didn't want to fall for her. I was in love with my fiancé, not with a woman who tried to take him and his brothers away. Give up. Focus! I don't want to struggle. Focus, focus, focus. Focus! I took a breath and focused, ignoring the hold of my body and concentrating on my own energy attempting to flow through my veins. It was strange. I felt certain parts of my body were locked in place, and because of that, the rest of my body couldn't move. Was succubus enthrallment like that, or was this a new form of paralysis enthrallment? I never noticed before, but now that I focused on it, I could feel my energy begin to break down the grasp Diana's spell had on me. Yeah. With each part of my body that broke free, I could feel myself gain more and more control over myself. My will became stronger, and I found myself smirking at the incoming Diana, who merely smirked back.
You're learning.
Damn right. Learning from the best. With a final push, I forced the enthrallment off my body and chucked my circlet in front of me, forming a large floating ring around my form. Diana quickly formed her saber in her hand and charged at me at full speed, causing the circlet ring around me to break into multiple shards and dart at my incoming opponent in a volley. Diana quickly parried and dodged each one with ease, but I kept my focus on the circlet, causing it to form back together behind Diana into a large collar and fly at my target. I was actually thinking, is the circlet doing all the fighting? And now I'm realizing your focus is actually starting to control it. That's interesting. Before Diana could even turn to react, the collar locked itself around Diana's neck and hair, causing her to gasp. I swiftly forced the circlet to pull Diana in an arc to the side, slamming her against the wall. What would have happened if I gave in? This is technically Sam's route. What would happen? Interesting. That scared me. For a second I panicked that I had seriously hurt her, but at the same time something within my gut felt a little satisfied that I had done that to Diana. Was it sadistic of me to take pride in fighting back? No, love, not at all. At that moment something dark began to haunt my mind. Ah, fuck. What if? What if I was able to kill her? I had my circle around her neck. I could easily snap her neck with it.
Why not? Wouldn't you like to exact revenge?
Who the fuck is that voice? What? I quickly removed my focus from my ghost from a circlet and behind me, spotted the copycat Diana in the corner of a room smirking from ear to ear like a Cheshire cat. Wait. Spotting the copycat Diana. I don't remember seeing another copycat Diana. The real Diana coughed and ripped the circlet from her neck, not yet able to notice the dark Diana in the room. You!
What? Oh, you let her go too soon, sweetie.
Where have I seen her? I don't remember seeing her. Was she in #1 game? Because I don't remember seeing that. Did it happen? I don't remember. I glared hard, feel my circlet reform around my wrist as I turned to face a copycat Diana in physical form, a dark aura glowing around her body. What the hell? Why was it here? Two Dianas. I have mixed feelings about this. Diana shook off the impact she absorbed from my attack and rushed in front of me, blocking me from the copycat's view.
Again with the defending, Azure. I have to say, it's rather annoying to see you defend a measly human. How did you come out of my body?
What is happening? The thing was in Diana's body? How? What was going on with this copycat and Diana? I became more and more confused as I stared. The copycat, however, laughed and crossed her arms under her bosom.
Your little training session with the human has made you weak. It was only natural to leave when the door was wide open.
Well, fuck. Instantly, Diana's hand began to glow, and a large purple snake-like tendril slithered out from her palm. Diana arched her arm towards the copycat, wrapping the tendril around the copycat's neck and pulling it forward. To my surprise, the copycat simply braced herself with her heels digging into the floor and her hands around her new collar.
Our feud is between us. Go back to where you belong. You can't hide your feelings forever, love. The truth will come out sooner or later.
What did this thing mean? The truth? What truth? I began to question what it could be in my mind before seeing Diana send a wave of energy through the tendril and making the wrap around the copycat's neck tighten.
I will not ask again.
Ooh. With a hideous choked laugh, the copycat's body began to shift and sway as if it was becoming a vaporous form. However, the mist channeled itself into Diana's tendrils and faded into it as the tendril itself began to vanish. With a heavy sigh, Diana curled over herself and shook her head.
Damn that thing.
Damn that thing. Diana? Diana wouldn't turn to me, but my curiosity began to heavily peck at my mind. What was that thing really? How did it come to be? Why was it haunting Diana and taunting me? What was the truth Diana was hiding? No, I need to know what that was. If it is a serious danger to the war, I kinda need to know what it is. I need to know what's going on. It was like an itch that was desperate to be scratched, despite it not being my place to prod. I don't care. This is something I need to know about. Diana paused for a moment before standing up straight and walking to the window, looking out of it, crossing her arms.
There's a term in the human world for it. When you are haunted and easily taken off guard after war.
PTSD? Yeah, there it is. I furrowed my eyebrows. I knew what she meant, but that was beyond what PTSD was. PTSD didn't make a physical apparition of yourself come to life. Post-traumatic stress disorder, but Diana, that can't just be it.
Well, unfortunately, it's the only explanation I can give.
So, allow me to make a guess here, Diana. I take it you went through some serious traumas in the war, and due to you being a demon, PTSD, your trauma, forced you to split in half. The pains of the war made a physical form so that you could deal with it in your own demonic way. Is that it? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense at all. I could tell that Diana was lying to me, but why? Was the truth really that complicated or dark? Diana sighed and looked back at me.
The Demon Lord is a special kind of beast. He is a brute demon who rose above his nomadic birth and became the ruler of a kingdom after marrying a noble succubus. The eldest son's mother, I believe.
Diana continued despite my inner thoughts.
However, since that day, he became power-hungry and began his tyrannical takeover of every neighboring kingdom, plaguing the land with his iron fist. He took in 3 more wives and bore sons with them, and impregnated a harem girl, giving him a 5th bastard son. Eventually, his carnal need for control became the fuel for his madness. He grew rampant, and his sadistic views became much more destructive and bloody.
Diana looked at me with a thoughtful look before continuing.
In this world, madness isn't just an affliction of the mind. It is also a form of energy that grows like a festering disease. When it takes hold of you, you become reckless, mindless, soulless, and you become your own worst enemy.
Now everything began to make sense. I stared at Diana, seeing the shame in her eyes. I could tell that this deeply troubled her, but she carried herself very well despite being affected by this. So, you have it.
I can only assume so. A mild form of it, anyway. If you get too close to it, or get injured by it, like I have, Then it will latch onto you and feed off of your own energy to grow. The results? Well, you saw for yourself, didn't you?
I nodded, remembering the copycat. While the Diana before me was a pretty decent person, the copycat seemed more of the Diana I'd met in the human world, who tried to take the boys away from me. It was, in her speech, her stance, and I couldn't shake her smugness from my mind. A feeling of concern rushed through me. If madness was like a disease, was there a cure for it? Would Diana be haunted by it forever? Well, is there a way to get rid of it? Diana smirked for a moment, staring at the ground. What was so funny?
There's only a rumor of a cure, but it's impossible to achieve. At least for me.
Tell me. What is it? As Diana looked back at me, I could practically see herself bearing any emotion from the words that came out of her mouth.
True love. According to rumor, true love isn't just a silly emotion humans feel when they desire or care for someone. But it is also a pure form of energy, powerful enough to conquer worlds.
Ooh. My mind went blank. Love was a form of energy? I began to fill with both sudden determination and ideas of grandeur. I was in love, so I had to have it. Wait, then
True love doesn't exist, dear.
I don't agree. I do not agree. I speak from experience. Trust me. It can get you through some shit. And suddenly my thoughts broke again. What did she mean? The love I felt was real, and if it was a form of energy, then it had to exist. The look in Diana's eyes could kill, however, as she almost glared daggers into my soul as she interrupted me. Diana chuckled and shook her head, crossing her arms under her bosom and leaning on one hip.
Think about it. If it was as powerful as the rumors described it to be, then you would be able to break the curse upon you with ease.
You motherfucker. Yet I'm still here.
Besides, love doesn't exist for demons here in the demon world. I don't know how the incubi were able to achieve it, but in this world, love is non-existent.
Aww. I pressed my lips together, irritated at the brush-off Diana was giving the idea of love being a real power. Sure, it wasn't powerful enough to break the curse on me, but I could tell that the rumors weren't lying about it being a form of energy. Diana rolled her shoulders and ran a hand through her hair, running her fingers along one of her horns.
Luckily, I have Sero to thank for keeping me in check. As long as I focus on defeating the Demon Lord and feeding off of Sero, then the madness tends to stay down.
Aww. I thought of Sero and how devoted he was to Diana. He seemed to really care for her, if not love her. If he was able to keep her madness down, did that mean he was giving her energy she needed to fight it off? Was Diana blind? After hearing her talk ill of love, I could only assume she didn't care enough for it to believe it. I actually found it a bit hilarious to think about, that she was so naive about it and she couldn't recognize her own servant giving her a cure. Diana shook her head and turned to full-face me.
Enough talk. We have to keep training.
I could only agree. Still, I could feel like something was off. Diana was holding something back. We trained the rest of the day until night came. I slowly made my way into the room and sat back onto the bed, letting the rush of exhaustion run through me like a wave of water. I shut my eyes and fell back into the mattress with a soft thud. We were a handful of days away, and I wasn't sure how we were going to be able to handle it. Now that we are apparently being tested on top of it.
You have nothing to fear from me, child.
God damn it, why did I expect you to be here? I didn't even have the strength to care or sit back up. I let out a sigh and continued to stare at the ceiling, greeting the voice in my head with a grimace. Why are you doing this? Why not just test him yourself?
One cannot be tested if they are not ready for the consequences.
Okay. That got me to sit up. I looked to the fireplace, remembering the dream I had of Sam being burnt alive. A shudder ran through my spine as the voice chuckled.
You know what will happen if he is not worthy of my power.
Love your voice, though. Just, But why must he take it?
He wishes to kill the Abomination Demon Lord, correct?
This is very true, Demon Dude. Durgan Dude. My anger flared. How was he being so high and mighty of himself? Because he's a Durgan, sweetheart. Diana and Sero seemed to respect him for his power. But if he was so powerful, then why wasn't he here himself testing Sam? The voice answered my thought.
I am bound to the dark, as I have always been for eons.
Aww. Poor baby. Eons.
Yes, child. My kind and I have lived within the depths of the abyssal plains ever since the dawn of time, feeding off of the ashes of the dead and granting the world above us peace.
Aw, how sacrificial of you. I'm moving my microphone. Sorry for the thud-thuds. Nope, it's not fixing it. If you hear a buzz, that is my fans being a little bitch. Ah! No! Microphone! You ate my freaking wires. Why would you do that? Alright. Back to the thing. Peace. Was the being some kind of underground creature? How was it able to communicate through fire then?
We are all powerful, child. Should we desire it, we could bring the world to its knees and drown it in endless flame.
From the power behind his voice, I could tell that he was telling the truth. A violent shiver ran up my spine as I imagined the castle and the lands around us completely covered in flames. The voice, however, continued.
Fear not, however. We care little for the world above.
Ah, Gargan! Then why get involved now with the Demon Lord?
The Demon Lord is a mad abomination undeserving of the power of the demon world. For what is to come, he must be eliminated.
Seriously, the voice actor goes a little all out, sometimes a little too far, but I like it. What do you mean? What's to come?
Talking to the voice?
Shut up, Sam! Holy shit, hello. How you doing? I quickly looked to the door to see Sam staring at me intensely. What surprised me was he was in his demon form. I could only assume his glamour spell vanished from how much energy he had used in training. I nodded and looked to the fire. The voice was telling me about itself. It apparently lives beneath the demon world. I hoped that Sam knew what it was, whatever this thing was. It seemed to think of itself as the most powerful being in the world, which I couldn't verify if it was unknown to me. Sam, however, cocked an eyebrow.
So it's a dragon.
Ha ha! Wait, what? I shot my head at Sam, both confused and thrown off by the answer. A dragon? A dragon! Oh. When did that become a part of the list of demons in the world? How were dragons even remotely related to demons? Sam stared at my face and laughed before walking over and ruffling my hair.
What? You didn't think they were real?
Hell yes I do! Dragons, excuse me, motherfucker, are a huge part of my life, and I truly believe they exist, so I'm happy. I'm not reading that. I mean, anything's possible at this rate, but a dragon. The voice in my head laughed at my surprise, but what shocked me was that Sam reacted as well to laughter, looking around the room in shock.
The fuck?
I am surprised that you know of what I am. Oh, Maurice.
I love it.
Call me Sam.
You choose to acknowledge your human name.
Yeah, I do. Got a problem with that?
You can hear his little demon voice. Ah!
You become more interesting to me every day that passes, Sam.
Thanks. Now why the fuck are you testing me?
Do you wish to kill the Demon Lord?
I watched a flash of rage rush across Sam's eyes as he nodded, pinning his gaze to the fire before us and seeing the same eyes I'd seen before appear within the flames.
Yeah, I do.
Then I will grant you my power, if you are worthy to take it.
What? If I'm worthy? What's that supposed to mean?
Sam? The voice ignored Sam and focused its attention on me.
Child, you should prepare for tomorrow. You will be tested as well.
Look at Sam's face! Me? I stared into the fire, now slightly afraid of what test this thing had in store for me. Would it have Diana disguise herself as Sam? Could Diana even do that? I didn't want to assume that it would use the same trick twice. The possibilities were endless. I shook my head and took a breath. I had to be strong and show it that I wasn't afraid. Alright, I'll be ready.
Such confidence for a human.
How dare you insult me? I am Draco Skura. Do you know who I am? I'm a dragon, motherfucker. Fuck you. You say that word too often. This is not rated for children, kids. That's why I'm allowed to say the F word. With that, the eyes vanished from the flames, and Sam looked at me, wrapping an arm around my shoulders.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I was nervous. There's no way it could have been alright. Yet deep in my gut, I knew that everything was going to be okay. I had to be confident with my skills, that I was ready for whatever this thing threw my way. I nodded to Sam, seeing him smile a bit. I gave him a little smug smile and flexed my arm. I'll be okay. Let me at it. Hell yeah. Sam laughed, now relaxed, and gently nudged me.
Good. You'll kick the test's ass, whatever it is.
Yeah. I nodded softly. I had to breathe. Everything would be okay. As I took a deep breath, I took a moment to take in that Sam was still in his demon form. I chuckled a bit and touched his horns, which I found hilarious as they protruded from the sides of his head like handlebars. I never get used to seeing you in this form.
Huh? Oh, shit! I forgot to turn back. Sorry.
Don't be. I'm enjoying the view. Trust me. In fact, yeah. I stared at Sam as he stepped back and looked down at his form in surprise. As he rubbed the back of his head, I could see the comfort he had in what his true form... Wait. I could see the comfort he had in what was his true form. While it wasn't totally different from his human form, he still had horns and the incubus taint on his skin. Sam shook his head and began to charge his energy.
I'll change back.
No, stop him. No, I like this. Sam was comfortable in that form. If he was exhausted, he didn't have to use more energy to glamour himself. I held up my hand and walked over, placing it on his chest and stopping him.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. You don't have to. Sam stared for the longest time before smiling and nodding. I was happy to know that he was considerate enough to consider my feelings, but if he was happy in his true form, then I didn't mind sleeping beside him. As I looked at him, though, a dangerous curiosity crept over me. I never really thought of making love to him in this form. Oh, shit. Here we go. In this human form, obviously, but not with him as the demon he truly was. Would it be different than what I expected? Would it be exactly as I imagined? I bit my lower lip, letting the curiosity fester in my mind a bit.
Huh? What's with the look?
Be afraid, Sam. Run away. I know I want to. I didn't notice the expression my face was making as I stared at Sam's body, causing me to jerk my gaze up into Sam's eyes and shake my head. Nothing.
Nothing, huh?
Nah, nothing. I'm good. Oh, cool. Are we avoiding it? Are we just making it funny? Sam slowly began to stalk. Nope, we're not. Towards me, forcing me to step back and eventually lean against the wall with him, placing his arms on either side of my head. I was trapped, and I could only stare up at my captor.
I think you're staring at me and thinking bad things.
They're not bad. I'm as innocent as a puppy. What are you talking about? I can't say it with a straight face. Oh, no. Children, this is rated 18 and up. Let me tell you about this game. There are sex scenes, and I'm pretty sure I found the second one. You didn't see the first one because the recording went crazy. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to skip, the time that you can skip to will flash in the screen. I am begging you, if you do not want to see me die, skip to it. Because I am actually going to go through this. I didn't know. Okay. Now, if you don't skip to that time, which I highly advise you do, you get to watch me die. Great. Let the show begin. I felt my heart rush into my throat and silence me as I gazed into Sam's emerald eyes, which oh so slightly dilated in a small form of lust. Now I'd done it. Sam chuckled and leaned in close, touching his nose to mine.
So, you gonna tell me the truth?
Nope. What's initiative mean? Set him straight or talk initiative. What are you talking about? Hold on, I need to look up initiative. I know the word, but I need to know the exact meaning of the word real quick. Initiative. The power or opportunity to act or take charge before others do. I knew this word. The act or strategy intended to resolve a difficulty or improve a situation, a fresh approach to something. Okay, so it's pretty much, I don't know what set him straight means, but I'm gonna say take initiative because I don't know what this means and I'm scared of it. Sam thought he had the upper hand. However, I knew how to... Oh no, I hear the music. Once again, kids, flashing number! I advise you go to it. Please, don't watch me die like the sadistic buggers you can be. I knew how to make him go crazy. Goody! I leaned forward and locked his lips with him, making him gasp against my mouth. I slyly wrapped my arms around his neck and pulled him close, letting him know that he was right and that he had better make good on my thoughts. Sam pushed forward, groaning softly and pinning me to the wall with his body. Goody! I felt his hands rub my skin. It was so strange. There was no difference in texture of Sam's green marks from his skin, almost as if the marks were part of his physical nude appearance. He's nude. Oh, goody. Still, I could feel the power Sam carried just from touch and passion alone. Sam was definitely strong, and he only reaffirmed my mental assessment as he gripped onto my hips and lifted me up higher in the wall and made me wrap my arms around him. I just realized something. Is the dragon still here? Is he watching this going, like the little fucker he is? Unconsciously, I gripped onto his horns, causing him to growl almost animalistically against my lips and make me gasp at the sound. I stared wide-eyed at Sam, seeing his eyes glow slightly. Did I hurt you?
No.
I became lost in his eyes as he began to deeply enthrall me, the small ring of green around his lustful, blown pupils glowing gold as the spell took hold. I released a heavy moan before gripping his horns hard and pulling him back to me for a kiss. His kiss became eager and wild, like grabbing hold of his horns was a turn-off for him. Was it? Sam zipped us back to the bed. I have to, read word for word sometimes to read. With his inhuman speed, and settled himself with me in his lap and him sitting back against the bedpost. His hands began to wander along my body, trying to control themselves from simply tearing through the fabric dividing us. Goody! In my own desire and need, I quickly forced myself away from Sam's lips and touched my nose to his. Staring deep into his eyes, I began to undo every bit of clothing and strip them off me before tossing them who knew where. Into the fire, probably. Thankfully, he was hardly bare for me, so that was one less outfit in my way. As I finally became fully bare above him, Sam wrapped his hands around my waist and adjusted himself to kneel on my knees. On his knees. Me straddled over him. We didn't even need to play to know that this was going to be a rough ride. Click it. Oh, there we go. Hey, I remember this picture. I actually did see this picture somewhere. And I was looking at him like, no, I forgot he had horns. Oh my gosh. I settled my hands back on Sam's horns, my lustful eyes burning into his as he guided me and smirked a toothy grin at me.
You better hang on.
Okay. Fuck. Oh, goody. As my entire body became rushed with ecstasy, I couldn't stop the loud and wild moan from escaping my body, or from my eyes rolling back in wild euphoria. Goody. My world rocked with waves and pulses of pleasure and desire. The room around us, the smell of sweat in the air, it all became irrelevant as I made hard love to the man beneath me, clinging to his horns like handlebars. The harder we went, the louder we became. Oh, good, other people get to hear it too. My vision was blurred in pure ecstasy, and I could feel nothing but the pleasure rushing through me and Sam's horns within my grasp. Soon, the entire room became quick at the sound of our passion. As we peaked, we released a simultaneous scream and howl of carnal euphoria before wrapping our arms around each other and panting wildly. The sweat between us tingled with the heat in the air, making us shiver in each other's arms. I was in utter bliss, and Sam soothed me and held me close as he very slowly tucked us beneath the bedsheets and held me close to him, allowing me to recover from the experience. Fucking demon style was definitely a new experience. I love those eyes. I mean, I really love those eyes. Those are pretty. I cuddled into Sam's embrace, nuzzling his chest and almost purring happily at the warmth that emanated from it. Sam kissed my head and chuckled.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I could only nod before feeling myself pass out. Sam followed soon after, both of us becoming lost in the dark void of slumber. Alright. If you guys clicked this time, good for you. You avoided it. I actually did better than I thought I would have. I didn't die. I just only half died. I actually did a lot better. Because the first time I did it, I completely died. I was like, no. This time, I think I did good. Probably because I was barely paying attention. I was mostly focused on trying to read. Anyway, if you didn't, well, you already know the story. I had to be ready for the trial. We're asleep, by the way. I half expected to wake up to Diana to be disguised as Sam as the morning came. However, as I woke up, I was happily in the arms of the man I loved. Despite the tired fog over my vision, I could sense that the man who was holding me was the true Sam. The way he held me gave it away. As he pulled my body close to him, I giggled, knowing Sam was awake. I know you're awake!
No, you don't, you doofus.
Doofus. I laughed and kissed his nose softly, causing Sam to open his eyes. As he gazed into my eyes and smiled, I felt my heart completely swell in joy. I had almost forgotten about the day ahead. All I wanted to do was stay in bed with him a little longer. Oh, do we get to fight James again?
Morning.
Morning. Oh, hey, cool. Sam lazily leaned forward and kissed me before pulling me to his chest and sitting us both up.
Come on. Time to get up.
Hey, you got your glamour spell on. Interesting. Do we have to? As I asked, I could sense a new determination from Sam. Something about him seemed confident, despite having just woken up. I tilted my head and placed my hands on his shoulders, curious as to why that was. What's got you so energized? Sam turned his head and looked in my direction, giving me a surprised look himself.
Huh? What do you mean? I'm always energized.
Bullshit. Mister, I don't want to get up and go away.
Well, that's good to hear.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. You're a little close. Sam and I looked over at the door suddenly to see Diana leaning against the archway, holding 2 large plates of food. Food! I was surprised she was able to carry them. Both plates were piled with food that looked absolutely delicious. Sam and I practically salivated at the sight before Sam shook his head and glared at Diana.
You ever learn how to knock?
Nah.
Well, we have a lot to do, so I figured knocking would only waste precious time. My apologies.
The sass, though. Diana walked over at last and handed us our plates before stepping back and crossing her arms. Oh, I had a burp. Sam began to chow down as I took the slower approach to eating what I was given with a laugh.
So, are you prepared for your test, dear?
Oh, great. Sam has the best faces. Oh, good. That made me stop and look up at Diana. She knew that I was next. She already devoted herself to the dragon before, so it wasn't surprising, but maybe she knew exactly what was in store for me. I couldn't be sure. Do you know what my test is? Diana nodded, and Sam looked up to see her answer. I gulped, now a bit worried. Can you tell me?
Unfortunately, no. I cannot. If I could, I would, dear.
Alright, I can understand that. I grimaced, looking at the fireplace and knowing the dragon was probably watching. I half expected him to answer for Diana, but he didn't speak. My mind began to fill with ideas of what it could be about. What was I going to be tested on? How was it going to go down? Would I have to fight? All the possibilities lingered in my thoughts as Sam finished his food.
Hey.
What? I looked at Sam, feeling him rub my back gently with his strong hand. I felt some comfort in the gesture and more from the smile on his face.
You'll be fine. I believe in you.
Daw. Well, if you believe in me, I must win then. Kiss him. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, Mr. Tough with that little smile. I was happy to know that Sam believed in me and supported me. I gave him a loving peck on his lips, causing him to stare wide-eyed with a blush. I had to giggle at the sight, while Diana rolled her eyes and let out a groan. Diana, however, looked to the fireplace.
I will say this, though. It should be easy for you.
For me? It should be easy. Diana nodded before turning around and looking over her shoulder to maintain eye contact with me.
Yes, that is, if you believe in your love.
You snarky little bitch. That is just you trying to be a little bit mean. I stared wide-eyed at Diana before she turned and walked away, leaving me and Sam alone. I grew curious and concerned, but I had to let it go for now. The test was apparently tonight, so I had to wait. But as I arrived in the hall for training, I was surprised to see Seto in the room instead of Diana. Seto? Seto turned to me and nodded his head.
You will be training with me today. I apologize for my lady's absence.
What is she up to? What do you mean? Where's Diana?
Unfortunately, I am not allowed to say. All I can say is that she is seeing to herself for the day.
Okay. Pressed my lips together in a fine line. It wasn't a good excuse, but if I didn't have choice in the matter, then there's no use in fighting it. I pulled my circle off my wrist and chucked it in front of me, forming the floating ring barrier around my body. Alright, then don't hold back. Seto stopped and prepped his stance, aiming his spear in my direction. I had to use this new training partner as a new experience. Not everyone would fight like Diana, so this was a good challenge for me. Look at his little angry little face. Fighting with Seto was no easy task. He was fast and thought 10 steps ahead of me, catching me off guard at some point. Still, I couldn't tell what I was putting up with a good fight. I could tell that I was putting up a good fight with my defense. What surprised me was how time passed by without me even noticing it. The more I clashed with Seto, the more ignorant I became of the sky's eventful descent from light purple to dark orange. Soon enough, our training had ended. I panted out of breath, but surprisingly still on my feet. I didn't understand how or why, but I could only assume that I was getting better, which was a good thing. Seto smirked as he caught his breath as well, stretching with the spear behind his shoulder blades.
My lady trained you very well. I believe you'll be able to handle yourself in the siege to come.
I feel, what's the word? Honored? That's the word. I grinned, happy to hear that I had impressed Diana's top guard with my skills. I only trained for a couple days, but showed great improvement. Maybe the demon world was aiding me in becoming a stronger person. Thank you, Seto. Seto nodded before walking to the exit of the room.
Now, please excuse me. I must see to the incubi. You are free to come with me if you'd like.
Hell yes! Damn it. I shook my head. My bedroom was calling for me to return, and I deserved a night of rest. Besides, I could only be a distraction for the boys. Damn it. I want to watch. I'll be, like, on the opposite side of the fucking hallway if I have to. I began to walk towards my room, exhausted and tired. However, as I passed the library, I stopped walking at voice that slowly crept from the crack of the door.
This game is getting tiresome, Azayor.
Fuck. Look at her little smug face. I quickly peeked in and silently gasped to see the copycat gripping Diana's neck and tilting her body back while Diana was on her knees, her head dropping back to let her face look up at the ceiling. Diana, however, seemed to be unconscious but breathing, so the copycat wasn't choking her. Before I could rush in, however, Diana lifted her hand and took hold of one of the copycat's wrists.
It's useless to fight me. I was born to take over and become the new you. I will not let you.
From the sound of Diana's voice, she seemed to be as calm as ice despite a pair of hands clasped around her neck. Diana opened her eyes and looked to the ceiling, uncaring and still.
My will is stronger than your so-called power. It doesn't matter. I'll take over soon enough. That pathetic guilt you have in your body will bleed you dry.
Ooh. I glared. Enough was enough. Barging in, I removed my circlet and prepared to throw it. Before I could, however, the copycat looked at me and grinned.
Oh, look! Harold Anderson's granddaughter is here.
I froze in place. How did she know my grandfather? As I stared at the copycat, Diana turned her head and stared wide-eyed at me.
Harold Anderson's granddaughter?
That's right! This is not when you play her, role. If you go her path in the first game, she finds out that you're Harold Anderson's granddaughter. If you happen to know the whole entire game, if you play Diana's role, you know what Diana did. I'm not saying it, because you guys probably only seen number 2 so far. I only fill in the holes. This will clearly tell you what's going to happen, or what did happen, rather. So I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'd rather it be a surprise. But, in hindsight, clearly hinted at, she knew Harold, your grandfather in this game. So, by taking Sam's route, it's pretty much saying that I did Sam's route number 1, and then moving to number 2. Diana does not know the shit she does if you go her route in the first one. Alright. I switched my gaze to look at Diana, seeing her complete eye stare turn into a look of despair and fear. What was going on? Why bring my grandfather up? Did she know him? The copycat licked her lips and released Diana, walking towards me as I tried to take in the situation.
It must have been so heartbreaking when you found out he passed away.
Don't you bring this up, madam. What do you know about my grandfather?
Stop it! Oh, nothing much. I only saw him once, when I went to the human world.
That's right. I remember exactly. Like, I knew what happened, but I forgot what caused it. Before she continued, however, Diana pounced off of the floor and attempted to tackle the copycat, only to fall through a vanishing afterimage. The copycat reappeared on the other side of me, grabbing the hand I held my circlet in, and danced her fingers over the steel of my weapon.
It's such a shame that he had to die. He could have been powerful enough to take control of the entire demon world with a wave of his hand.
That I didn't know. My mind went into a small frenzy. I knew that my grandfather used magic, but he was that powerful? How could he have died then? I looked to the copycat, feeling my endless desire for answers take over. How do you know my grandfather? The copycat smirked and opened her mouth to speak, but froze as Diana shouted, stopping her and causing me to gasp.
Because I killed him!
Yep, there you go. There you go. No, that couldn't be. My heart began to shake and crumble within my chest as my mind became flooded with memories of his funeral. There's no official record of how he died, only that he passed away. This was the reason why? I slowly turned my head to Diana, seeing her on her hands and knees, gripping the ground in anger and guilt. She kept her head down as she continued speaking.
When the boys left the demon world, I had to track them down and find out who took them away. In a blind and misguided need, I recast the spell they used to open the bridge between our worlds, and used the remainder of that man's life to come through. I can't ever ask for your forgiveness. I took his life, and I've been punished greatly for that choice. But I swear, on the ashes of my family, it was not something I wanted to do.
Oh, poor baby. I could only stare at Diana, barely hearing her over the memory of rain hitting my grandfather's gravestone echoing in my mind. My grandfather was buried 6 feet beneath the ground because of her. The copycat clapped and chuckled beside me, but I didn't care enough to look back at it.
Well done, Izeur. The first step of redemption is always the confession.
Stop acting like you want this. One word bounced through my head as I stared at Diana, watching her lower her head further onto the floor with her forehead against the stone. Her body contracted over herself, moving her hair from her back and revealing the intricate demon marks across her skin. When the word became unbearably loud in my thoughts, I let it resonate out of my mouth. Why? Diana kept her head to the floor as the copycat purred happily beside me. I had to place everything in perspective. Diana had saved my life, but sacrificed my grandfather's. Was saving me meant to be a debt repaid? She didn't know I was his granddaughter, though. If she has already been punished, then that definitely could have been the case. Then why would she save me if she had already killed a human? Why weren't angels hunting her down? Something wasn't right. I looked at the copycat, seeing her practically drool at the sight of Diana groveling. Are you really Madness? As it took in my question, the copycat looked at me with an offended glare.
Madness? Is that what Izeur told you? Such a bad girl indeed, even without my help.
What are you? I looked at Diana, seeing her body tense up. She lied to me. When the copycat chuckled, I turned back to see that wasn't the case.
Well, I'm not exactly Madness. I'm just a being that was created to enhance your story.
Pardon? Now it wasn't making any sense. My story? What the hell was it talking about? At my confused face, the copycat laughed.
You wouldn't understand, little human.
Well, I would if you would explain it.
Yes, she would.
Thank you. The copycat and I turned our heads to see Diana finally rising from the ground, glaring deeply at our copycat. For a brief second, I could sense the flinch that erupted from the copycat at the sight, but continued to look at Diana.
She may have grown attached to a demon, but that does not make her ignorant. She may be a simple human, but she is more than deserving to know everything the 5 worlds has to hide.
Okay.
She may have grown attached.
No, you're fine. I was just making sure I didn't skip something. The power balance in the room seemed to shift as Diana took hold of the dominance from the copycat and made her own presence intensify with her words. She tilted her head slightly, letting me and the copycat see both her eyes, filled with pure malice and ill intent. As she glared, a hard rush of fear ran through me, and deep gold covered her eyes, shaking air in the room with her gaze alone.
However, I'll tell her everything after I finally rip out your throat!
Oh, shit! Within the blink of an eye, Diana vanished and slammed into the copycat, jamming her elbow into his chest and sending it back. The copycat flew across the room and bounced off of the bookshelves, causing some of the books to fall over as it dropped to its knees. Diana settled onto her feet and walked towards it, forming her saber in her hand.
I should have killed you the moment you began to fester.
Hell yeah!
That golden heart of yours always seems to get in the way, huh?
That's the voice, though. Diana suddenly rushed at the fallen being, arching her saber to slash through it, but only swiped at the afterimage. The copycat reappeared behind Diana and kicked both of her knees out from under her, causing her to fall to the floor. I felt my instinct jump, but was it my fight to join in? Everything about the situation was blurred and confused. Who was right, who was wrong? Which Diana was to blame? Well, I would guess the one that's legitimately the dark one. My heart knew that the real Diana was innocent. The copycat must have forced her to do horrible things she did somehow. The question still remained, however. Would I help or watch? Help! I couldn't stand idly by and let Diana fight this thing alone. If I was somehow involved, then this became my fight as well. I focused my energy into my circlet and swung it violently at the copycat, causing a large chain to burst from it and clamp around the copycat's neck with my holding my circlet like a handle. The copycat arched back and gripped the chain, clawing at it as it choked. I continued to pull back to either continue choking it or bring it away from Diana. My energy concentrated on the chain, making it stronger and tighten around the copycat. Diana! Diana quickly looked up and gripped her saber before pushing off the ground and slicing through the copycat's stomach. I could only stare wide-eyed as the blade cut all the way through the copycat's body, perfectly dividing her in half. Oh my god. What was even more frightening about it was, instead of blood, black ooze dripped from the slice. From the stench, it was ink or something very similar in nature. Within seconds, the wound had vanished, making the copycat whole once more. Before it could attack, however, Diana carved through it again with her saber, painting the floor with a spray of its black inked blood as the slice ripped through its torso. Diana twisted her blade and continued to slice apart the copycat like scraping a hot knife through butter. With each tear, the ink blood seemed to form it back together, but the copycat seemed to weaken each time. Since it wasn't fast enough to completely heal the wounds on its body, its skin becoming painted black. The copycat let out a growl, somehow still alive, and gripped Diana's neck. I could tell that it was immensely weakened, but continued to fight on. A shadowy aura bounced around it as a second voice, one I couldn't recognize, echoed behind Diana's.
You will not defeat me! Yes, I will!
That was... whoa. Diana quickly grasped onto the copycat's neck and began to crush it, making the copycat let go of her and take hold of Diana's wrists, hoping to stop her.
My name is Isaur, descendant of the Lilith bloodline and queen of the rebellion. I will no longer be bound by the power of your muse!
Holy shit. The power of your muse. Before I could even attempt to ponder what the hell she meant, Diana dug her nails into the copycat's neck, effectively stabbing through her skin and burying her nails into its throat.
You will not control me anymore!
With Diana's shout, her hand suddenly ignited into purple flame, catching onto the copycat as Diana's fist tightened further onto its neck. With a bubbly cry, the copycat spasmed before igniting into a flesh pyre. Good voice acting. The smoke that rose into the air faintly reminded me of a book burning, the smell of paper and ink becoming ashes and soot as little by little the copycat started to burn away. Eventually, Diana's fingers finally revealed themselves as the ashes around her fingers fell to the ground with the remainder of what was the copycat. I felt myself step back and collapse onto the floor, taking everything in and trying to adjust myself. The entire situation became a wild ride, one full of surprises and confessions. It was hard to place together. I wasn't the only one who hit the floor. Diana fell to her knees, staring at her hand as the ashes of her copycat faded into the air like dust.
It's over.
Aww. I stared at Diana, seeing her gaze burn into her palm, and watched it shake slightly. In her eyes, however, was a small glimmer that I had not recognized from her. It was almost innocent, kind, like she had been under a spell for many years and had finally been freed. Was this the true Diana? Diana gripped her fist and brought it to her forehead, inhaling deeply and stopping herself, most likely from crying. Diana. Actually, back. I'm gonna end it here. I'm out of time. It has now been 50 minutes. I love this game so much. It is the first quote-unquote dating sim that has actually enthralled me with, terms, puns. But it's actually enthralled me with the storyline. The storyline is phenomenal. I mostly play this for the story now, because holy shit, I want to learn. By the way, I have noticed. Now, this game has a weird way of working. You have a total of 10 points that you can get. You need 9 or greater to get the good ending. I think I've already missed 2, which means I'm probably going to get the bad ending. So, way more than likely, you'll see in the very last episode, you'll see the good ending and the bad ending. Because I'm already gone down the bad ending route. Like, there's no fixing this. I'm going to cry. Way more than likely I'm going to cry. So I'm going to get the bad ending. I don't think there's any way around that. I'm telling you that right now. As for the good ending, I'm going to say that for last because why not? So I am going to continue doing this. I'm not going to mess up anything. I'm not going to go back and fix anything. I will more than likely get the bad ending. Now, whenever I'm done with this bad ending and I'm done crying, I will immediately go to the good ending. So you'll get 2 endings in one film. Hopefully. It depends on how long these endings apparently are. So, yeah, this series is fun. There's going to be a lot of them. Seeing how as I'm already on number 4, and I'm only on 1 route, there's a total of 6, if I'm correct. Actually, I can just go check. Save! No! No, wait. Fuck! No! No! Fuck, I wanted to go back. Shit. Just wait.
I'll explain everything soon. Please, just...
Fuck. Oh.
I'll explain everything soon.
Okay, so, I'm trying.
I'll explain everything soon.
Can I just save this, please? I'm just gonna wait anyway. Yes. I was gonna pick that anyway, but I'm trying to go. Can I go to the main menu? Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, there's a total of 6. Which is actually very interesting, but I'll explain that another day. And no, it's not because 666. There's an actual reason. Like, this symbol here is actually really interesting. Like, very, very interesting. I personally believe the person who made this game might know their shit just a little bit. Like, I don't think the actual images are correct, but the layout is very interesting. I forgot what it's called. No, I actually do remember. It's a hexagram, but very intriguing. So, according to a lot of legends, you're gonna get some demonology shit in this, because I actually do study a lot of different shit here. And this is one of them. The hexagram is there's a pentagram, which I don't really know much about, but I do know about the hexagram. The hexagram is said to be a portal between the human world and the demon world, or the other world, or spiritual plane of any kind. It's the symbol of balance between worlds, which is very intriguing for this game. It makes a lot of sense. And I find that very intriguing. I'm actually shocked I didn't notice that till now. I never looked behind the dots. That's actually really interesting. The person who made this just might know her shit, or his shit, or their shit. They might know a little bit. Either that, or they did some serious studying. Anyway, that was a fun fact for the day. I look forward to keep doing this game. This is fun. It gives me a break from drawing and whatnot, or animating. It gives me a time to relax and just talk to you guys and kind of bond, even though not many of you guys watch this. It's not a well-viewed game, but it gives you the choice to hear me and to connect with me a little bit more. It pretty much shows I'm not a robot. I am human, or Durgan. I'm a dragon. What am I talking about? Fuck! But, yeah. This is fun. I enjoy it. So, in the end, I'm Draco Skura, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the show. And have a wonderful day.